South Kazakhstan State Pedagogical University Module Nature and Ecology Problems. Theme Country Life versus City Life. Lesson 2. The lesson is conducted by senior teacher Baryssova N T. Aims of the lesson. Educational aims to enlarge the student scope, to teach students to cooperate, to teach students to respect others' opinion, to form reading skills, to form lexical skills, to improve pronouncing skills, to develop speaking skills of dialogue. Useful words and word combinations. Copy out in your vocabulary notes and learn by heart. Block of flats, country house, cottage, city yards, country folk, dwellers, city inhabitants, townspeople, townsfolk, flat, apartment, villages, citizen, go to the country. Text Country Life versus City Life. Listen to me very attentively, please, and try to understand this text. Then copy out the new words and translate, please. There are many people who dream of living in a city and having the possibility to enjoy the advantages of large department stores, shops, supermarkets and services, as well as many varieties of entertainments, discos and nightlife not found in the country. In the cities, they also expect to get better education, find greater varieties of training, schooling for a career, and later a far better selection of job offers. They have a better chance to find well-paid jobs, to spend leisure time in cafes, cinemas, theaters, and operas. They also meet more people and make more friends. They live at a faster tempo with much hurry and rush, and as long as they are young and energetic, they generally have the possibility to earn higher salaries and enjoy living in a city. In the course of time, however, they tend to change their views and begin to appreciate the fresh air, natural homegrown farm produce, and the peace and quiet found outside the town, so that they soon start to think of moving. Take, for example, air pollution. All the fumes and smoke that do not permit to breathe normally. Tall buildings that blot out the sky and the sun, and each day the same, with no visual change in the seasons, until at last the city dweller becomes tired, old and sick, having been forced to adapt to an unnatural and polluted environment. Many people prefer to live in the country and commute to work every day. It means commuting in overcrowded buses and trains, driving slowly in heavy traffic during the rush hour, and endless queues at bus stops. But the beautiful smell of the countryside on arriving home, together with a profound sense of peace and quiet, does so much to relieve the stress and tension of a day in the city, that the suburbanite will certainly feel the extra traveling distance well worthwhile. The demand for accommodation in the city is also great, and it is sometimes very difficult for people on low incomes to buy a house of their own, and the cost of rented flats is usually quite exorbitant. Food is also more expensive in the city, although people often socialize by eating in restaurants, which after a stressful day helps them to relax. High crime rates and the constant threat of burglaries and robberies, together with the exposure of young people to drugs and violence, also causes many young people to feel lonely, abandoned, and lost. They look for goals and a sense of life, but no one has time to help them, all being so busy with their own personal immense hurry for success. Next task, make up dialogues using the following pictures. People in England never drop litter in the street. If somebody sees you, you have to pay a fine. Feinstrafe. They sort their rubbish. There are special containers for paper, tins, food, white glass, brown glass, and green glass. After that, special factories recycle these materials and people reuse them. A lot of people use public transport. They don't go by car because, firstly, cars pollute the atmosphere, and secondly, because it's very difficult and expensive to park a car in a big city. Never forget to turn off lights and water. Water heating and electricity are expensive. Next task, make up a dialogue. Is it better to live in a city or in countryside? Use the text and exercises and pictures, previous pictures. Student 1. Is it better to live in a city or in countryside? Good infrastructure versus good ecology. Let's talk about that. Student 2. I personally think that living in a city is less preferable. Indeed, enjoying nature on a day-to-day basis is excellent, isn't it? Moreover, living in countryside is much better for your health. Fresh air and clean water will help you keep you healthy, and natural food will do so too. Continue this dialogue. You can use these pictures, the description of these pictures. Is it better to live in a city? Or is it better to live in countryside? Your home task, doing exercise and write down essay, country versus city. Fill in the blank with correct words: cinema, crowded, friendly, fresh, heavy, healthy, landscapes, and worried in the following sentences. Match the words to form collocation and use them in your essay, country versus city. Adjectives: fresh, heavy, public, crowded, friendly, high, beautiful. And the nouns: air, traffic, transport, streets, people, salaries, landscapes. Protect the nature for our generation.